tired of this fucking cold weather.
But cold weather has fucking been nice all day.
Today, today,
It was
uh,
nice yesterday.
it was shitty the rest of the fucking week.
Ah, whatever. It is what it is.
Were you working in it?
Yes, I was.
Well, then whatever. So anyway, yeah. Oh, that's a nice picture you got back there.
Yeah, I couldn't figure out how to crop your shit out.
Oh, oh, is that how you're going with that one?
It's better than the other backgrounds I've had. So,
Right, truth. So anyway, yeah, like I was saying, we'll talk about what's going on with the Arctic Cat situation. I know
I
you've checked into it a little bit, but not a whole lot. I haven't really checked into it. We've kind of been out of touch over the winter. Personal stuff going on my end, shit like that. I haven't been paying attention to much. Went to OPE a couple weeks back, but really that's it. Oh, I do want to discuss that the pandemic tuner and whatnot. I do want to talk about that too.
sure.
Um, but so I guess we'll dive right into it.
Well, what would you like to talk about first?
So the whole Arctic Cat thing.
But you would talk about something I have no fucking clue about.
Well, that's just it. You can pull it up just as easy as I have. I don't know a whole lot about it. I'm literally just going off of what I've pulled up on the computer.
Um,
But from
so
from from this, it's saying Arctic Cat is pausing production at its Minnesota facilities indefinitely after the 2025 model year. They're reviewing strategic options for the business.
so that's is that the what is that? Thief River?
Good question.
Or is it the
Yeah, Thief
Saint
River,
Saint or Saint Cloud?
both.
Okay.
Textron,
Uh
Arctic Cat's owner, announced in November of 2024 that it would suspend production at the Thief River Falls and St. Cloud facilities. The company cited a soft consumer demand for power sports products as well as a need to reduce costs.
so I know most of our listeners are down here in the South where we're at. So
And I know
um
I know Arctic Cat is not big down here.
you're right, it's not. But us being originally from the north, Arctic Cat is huge in the snowmobile industry.
Right.
Like I would have to say, like, as far as snowmobiles, like that's typically the company most people talk about. Um, that being said, though, you have experience with Arctic Cat, the side by sides and four wheelers. Myself also. I have a soft spot in my heart for Arctic Cat. Um, but that being said, that it's kind of it's sad to see that a manufacturer is pausing production. Now, granted, they're going to fulfill current consumer orders, so on and so forth. But to see a brand step back and step away from the industry, that that kind of worries me a little bit, because normally when a brand steps back, regardless whether they have plans to come back or not come back, that there's definitely something going on. And I hate to see, regardless whether you're a fan of the brand or not, I hate to see somebody
Uh,
leave the industry. You know what I mean?
yeah. Well, and
Um,
that's what I was gonna say is see. I agree. Like you don't want to see whether you like them or not or think they should even be here. You don't want to see somebody leave the industry because it leaves a void with something that, and it, not necessarily a void in the industry as a whole, but a void in certain products that specific company may have been providing.
I, well, to be honest, we've had these conversations before. Um, I think the double X, I think it's an underrated machine, really.
I think it was mismarketed.
I think it was mismarketed too, but I think it's a machine that a lot of people slept on. Yes,
And and
the running joke is yeah, it's a Yamaha. It's got a Yamaha motor.
cats are afraid
Manufacturers
of
have been
water.
using parts from other manufacturers for years. This isn't anything new,
Yeah.
So
So I'm sitting here looking through uh other websites, stuff like that, and this is from Adventure Rider. They actually posted the actual dealer communication that went out in December from
mhm.
Artic Cat. Dear Valley dealers, in response to the ongoing business conditions facing in the power sports industry, Artic Cat will suspend manufacturing operations indefinitely at our facilities in Thief River and St. Cloud after planned production of the in the first half of 2025 is complete. Textron Inc. also announced that it is exploring strategic alternatives regarding the future of power sports business. These actions are difficult but necessary as we have continued to experience softness in consumer and market demand, resulting in a need to reduce costs. We remain open for business with respect to selling current inventory and providing aftermarket support and services to our existing installed customer base. Our sales organization, customer service teams, our aftermarket distribution centers, and other functions are ready to assist you and your customers. We are committed to providing the service to support, keep thousands of loyal customers riding and enjoying Arctic Cat vehicles. We will resume production as planned after the new year to produce units under existing consumer commitments. However, once the build is complete, we will suspend manufacturing operations indefinitely. We will monitor industry conditions throughout the period and make further announcements about our operational plans when we have more information to share. Arctic Cat will continue to sell model year 2025 snowmobiles throughout the year. Production of future model years will depend on the outcome of Textron's evaluation of strategic alternatives for the business.
Yeah,
So,
I don't know. I honestly, I don't think it's coming back. Textron's a fairly big company, as you know. Textron owns Articat. Articat is just their snowmobile and off road division.
well, well,
Um,
it's seems like it's turning into a trend. I mean, and I don't mean just power sports, but it's been it's a trend that's been going on. Harley, I know we don't really mess with that stuff too much, but Harley had horrible third quarter uh financials and stuff like that. So, and then KTM,
mhm.
uh,
Yeah, I saw
KT,
the deal. Yeah, I saw the deal with KTM not too long ago, just a few days ago. So
yeah, so it's we all know it's tough times. I mean, we've all got friends and whatnot that were sitting there going, man, I don't know how we're going to continue to make it in with the way things are going. Hopefully, things are changing, and we're going to see something better come along, and some restructuring of things to get the money back. Because ultimately, that's what it is. It's all a money game. We know it's all a money game.
yeah,
So
I think Textron, or not Textron, excuse me, Articat, they've been around since the 60s, starting with snowmobiles and then venturing off into the off-road, four wheelers and then into side by side, so on and so forth. Um, and I think that, yes, it's a small niche company compared to Can-Am and Polaris, so on and so forth, but to see a company step back or basically step away from production is a
it's
big
a bummer.
deal for the whole industry,
Yeah.
and then kind of alluding to the situation going on with CF Moto, um, with them with the whole tariff deal and that going on,
Uh, and I know
so
I know I just said a little bit about KTM, which I haven't been following too much on KTM.
I just saw something a couple of days ago about, I think they were filing for bankruptcy, but I could be wrong. Um, I don't I don't really pay any attention to KTM because I don't ride motorcycles.
Right.
So I don't ride dirt bikes,
Well,
and
that's just
that's kind of their deal. But I
you're
know
right.
KTM is huge in Europe.
Well, you're right, but at the same time, KTM is a motor manufacturer, and how, like you just said, how many of these other manufacturers are getting parts and getting motors or drivetrain, or and that's one of the things that uh I'm trying to understand is what's going on with all of this and how does it
So
affect us as a consumer.
well, and I don't know. So there's a deal from Sports Illustrated Motorsports. I just found it. It was just reported a couple of days ago. So KTM CEO steps down amid restructuring efforts as financial turmoil continues. So, um, you know, and they're in an effort to save themselves from bankruptcy as it stands right now.
Right.
But all these manufacturers, at least these smaller niche manufacturers, they use different companies for parts, so on and
Yep.
so forth. The Artic used Kimco for motors for some of their machines. They use Yamaha for motors. They use Suzuki for motors back during the 90s and early 2000s.
Yeah.
So
I had that Eiger that had the same motor that
yeah, it
what
was
was
a
it, the
Suzuki motor.
325? Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just it as far as that goes, that's nothing new. It's just hard. It's hard to see some of these companies struggling, being that this motorsports or off road is a huge part. We have a huge community, but
Yeah.
it's
You
we're going to see these smaller companies disappear first before we see the larger companies being affected.
right. And
When you talk about side by sides or four wheelers, what's the two that pop up the most? Can-Am and Polaris.
yeah.
It's at least here in the States, Can-Am. And I know uh Can-Am is huge in Central and South America.
Well, and that's you said it, you just said it with the whole, we're going to see the smaller companies. But what people fail to realize is that the power sports industry it's not just dirt bikes and side by sides and four wheelers. It's snowmobiles, uh it's your trucks, it's your dirt bikes, it's your enduros. There's so much more to this industry other than what you see at your local dealership.
Right.
So to see a company go under it's kind of like, all right, where is this gonna once again, where is it going to affect us? Is it going to affect us locally? Is it going to affect us parts wise? Is it going to affect us aftermarket wise? Like that's where.
Well, and that's firsthand, just like I do. Articat had hardly any aftermarket support. Like basically, other than a handful of things for some of the machines that Articat produced, it was hard to find aftermarket parts. You had to go OEM.
Yeah.
You couldn't put a big lift on them. You couldn't hop the motors up. You couldn't find clutch kits for them, so on and so forth.
Yeah, and the ones
Um,
you did find were few and far between and only from one or
exactly.
two
Well,
companies, and they only did it for a few years.
exactly. So, and that's part of the reason why myself and Bruce got out of the Articats was it was getting hard to find replacement parts. Bruce had the issue with reverse chain or reverse gears in the
Yeah.
transmission. He finally got a hold of somebody and bought the last four that they had on the shelf just to have them.
Yeah, and that's like you. I grew up with Arctic Cat stuff, so like I mean I had that between the four wheelers and then having that Trail 700 that I had. Uh, Dude, that thing it was a little billy goat. You know, I mean, it'd go anywhere and everywhere I wanted it to go as long as it wasn't a super deep hole. Uh, but I never really had any issues out of it. But once again, there was no aftermarket for it. I had the only lift I could find. The only reason we were able to build yours the way we were is finally we were able to get portals for it and a long arm kit. But it was such a drastic change to even get it to where it was feasible.
I probably had just about every, between me and Bruce, we had every aftermarket piece that was ever produced for those machines.
Yeah, I hate to see Arctic Cat go just because it's another business here in the States that's shutting down.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, and you said it's soft spot, so it's kind of like you don't want to see him go, but at the same time, yeah, they didn't have the aftermarket. They didn't fit our community directly. So I just hate to see it go. I thought we'd bring it up and talk about it a little bit because we haven't really discussed anything on it. I know once again we've been kind of out of it for the past, 3 months.
Yeah, basically since before Thanksgiving.
Yeah, winter. I mean, we pretty much shut down for winter. So it's one of those. Uh, the other thing, right? So the other thing,
Mm-hmm.
is CF Moto. A bunch of guys around here, a bunch of ranchers around here have been buying CF Motos here lately, so it's kind of fresh on my mind. And we all know how I'm a fanboy of CF Moto, but the Z10, I keep getting questions. I got a bunch of people that keep asking, oh man, dude, when CF Moto gonna drop that sport side by side, that badass one that's supposed to be coming out? And because I haven't been keeping up with it, my answer's always been, man, I don't know. I don't know. I'll check into it. I'll look into it, and I haven't really done much. That being
I'm
said,
waiting. I'm waiting to see their HVAC.
so that being said, I did a little digging, some searching, and there's actually quite a few videos on YouTube and stuff. How some of the dealers, I know, MSC did a video on it, but the as it stands right now, CF Moto has decided not to put it in production for the 2025 year. It is going to be a 2026 model. During testing, final stages of testings, there was a few things that they said that they didn't like. So they're going back. I guess I don't want to say going back to the drawing board, but they're wanting to make sure that it is good to go before they push it out.
Yeah, so I'm looking at their website right now. It is listed as a 2026.
Yeah, yeah.
That
So
being said, we typically start seeing the 2026 model year right around June.
right, yeah. Well, and I'm not saying when it's going to drop or anything like that. I'm simply saying like I know the push was when they released it, when they dropped the teasers, when they did the dealer show and all that. Like it was going to be a 2025 year model. They were actually pushing it hard, and then right before it was supposed to go into full production, uh, what they sent out to dealers was, "Hey, we didn't like how the final testings went. We're going to hold off another year." Which I don't know, and this is all speculation, of course, but I don't know if it all has to do with testing. We all know that there's some stuff going on. They're a Chinese-based company. Their parent company is Chinese. Uh, is there something else to that of why they're holding off on it? You mentioned tariffs, but there's also the whole information thing of data collection and all that was brought up. We've seen it in the news as far as CF Moto possibly not being able to release certain models because
Yeah.
of the
Now,
way
and
that
that's
it pulls information and sends it back.
well, and I'm wondering. I wonder if it has something to do with because they still have to go through emissions and all that other good stuff,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
So
And that's just it. It may not have been hey, we didn't like the way it was testing. It could be a multitude of things. And once again, speculation. Can't say that enough. It's speculation on my part. Is it more than what they've released? But if it is just, hey, we didn't like the way this came out, we're going to push it back a year just to make sure this is perfect. That says a lot as far as the company not wanting to put out junk.
Okay, so I just looked at CF Moto's website, which is the USA main CF Moto. And it lists the Z10 as 2026, right?
Right.
So I am looking at cfmoto.canada.
Mm-hmm.
There is no Z10 on it whatsoever.
No.
So,
But so here's the deal. Canada did get some models from CF Moto that is not in the US either. So you can't really
um,
judge that on.
well, yeah, because they have the U10 Pro Highland, which is their HVAC.
Yeah, and we don't have that down here.
We don't have that here yet. So, and it's listed as a 2025.
So like that's why that's part of the reason why I'm saying speculation on this is, hey, is there something else going on?
So that being said, so I'm just gonna throw it out there because I don't know what the conversion rate is from Canadian dollars to
My math's not mathing.
America. But the Canadian website's got it listed at 32,174. So what is that in US dollars?
I don't know.
28, 27?
I don't know. Good question. Let's find
Now, granted, that's for base model, three-seater, and I
out.
think it's a good looking machine.
What'd you say it was? What's the price?
They're starting at 32,174, but that's with freight and prep.
Um, like give me fucking euro. I don't want. I don't want. Stupid.
Oh my goodness.
Shut up. 22,383.
That don't sound right.
32,174 Canadian dollars equals $22,383.24.
So we're talking sub $25,000 for an
Yeah.
HVAC.
Yep.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
right. 22,380.
I'm not right. Google's right.
Well, that's what I'm on right now too. So
Yeah.
yeah, so
So
you're talking $23,000 for a three-seater HVAC.
yeah, but like most people, if they're going to get the HVAC, they're going 6-seater. So you're talking add another what, 5 on top of that?
Regardless, you can't get a three-seater
Well,
HVAC for less than 26.
so the Z10, they have released the prices on the Z10. So keep that in mind. They have released the prices on the Z10. And you and I have dove into the Z10, sitting there talking about it in the shop and at the garage and stuff like that. We've sat and talked about it, and we would like to say it is comparable to a base model Pro. Looks, shape, size, horsepower, shit like that, right?
Pro, no, I think it looks like a damn X3.
It's got the little check mark on the side. It looks like what the Pro should have instead of looking like an Aztec.
I don't know.
Anyway, what I'm getting at is
I
though
like the machine. I think it's a good looking machine.
they have released the prices on those, and the price on the 2-seater is 20 grand. The 4-seater is 22.9.
Yeah.
So you're talking 23 grand. So it's a $3,000 difference in between the 2-seater and the 4-seater. And here's the deal: it comes with a factory 1-year warranty. There comes factory with a winch, full skid plate. You've got the heads up display on it, the full color push button with like Apple CarPlay and all that's supposed to come with
Yeah.
it. Like CF Moto is putting so much more into them and saying, "Hey, come look at us because we have more for less."
Well, and ultimately, it's MSRP's not 20 grand. Um, After dealers
I
get their
want
hands
one.
on it with dealer freight and prep, all that, you're still
24,
looking at a
25.
23,000 machine.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but that's just it. My four-seater freaking Talon, I paid that, you know?
Yeah, no, and I get that. I completely understand it. I think bang for buck, absolutely.
I want one.
Um,
I think
my
they look great.
I
The
think it's a good looking
suspension
machine
travel.
too. My only knock on it, it's a 64-inch machine. That's my only knock.
It what whatever.
But other than that, you get 140 plus horsepower, four-wheel drive, front diff lock. Um, it's turbocharged. It's a three-cylinder. Fuel tank capacity is almost 12 gallons.
Yep.
You know, 14-inch wheels. It's on 30-inch tires. What else? See, ground clearance of 14 inches, which is comparable to a bone stock Razor, bone stock X3.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm
it's 99-inch
I
wheelbase,
want
so you're talking about the same wheelbase as a KRX.
I'm I want to see one in person and I would love to get my hands on one and drive.
I think I I think for and we've said this multiple times, like the CF motos, the CF motos and the Segways, they're both in this right around the same price range. Like you really can't beat bang for
Bang for buck.
buck.
Yeah.
Like for all the
Hun-
options that you're getting, if you was to ask for those same options from Polaris or Can-Am, add 5 grand.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And like I said, I think it's a good looking machine.
Yeah, it's like I said, I want to see one in person. I was really excited about it. I was hoping it was going to come out. You know, they decided to push it back a year. I'm I'm impatiently waiting. I wish we had a dealer closer than what we do, but we don't. So I just have to travel to go check one out. But
Um, but yeah, I just like I'm kind of interested. We've seen a few of the like the Z forces out at Mud Parks, and we've talked to a few people about them. Um, and
yep.
everybody that we've talked to, they've had good things to say about them.
So I'm bringing this up just simply because we kind of brought it up a little bit with it is uh with the whole tariffs and all that. U.S. seeks to ban power sports manufacturer CF Moto just like TikTok and others. Now this is from rideapart.com. It was put out in October, and it's not the way I'm understanding this and reading this is it's not all of CF Moto. It's simply that the rules are that it would ban vehicles with software and hardware with links to China and Russia. So certain CF Moto motorcycles, side by side stuff like that, they with their software and whatnot that's input in them, it sends information. Where it sends it, I don't know, but certain aspects of it, that's what they're talking about banning is anything that would send information back. So, and that's why I wonder if, hey, is the Z10 part of that, and maybe that's they're revamping some of that.
And it might be because if you look at their website, um, that's one of the features for that new Z10 is the ride app.
Mm-hmm.
So and they call it ride sync is what they call it. And it's supposed to capture, mileage, top speeds, braking patterns,
Yeah, but
anti-theft.
it's an app that you're tying your phone to, and it's
Yeah, so
that's
navigation, ride analytics, stuff like that, self checks. Um, is there some features that are useful? Absolutely. But I also think they're going to figure a way out about getting around it because CF Moto does have headquarters here in the States.
yeah.
They are based in Minnesota.
Hey, there's going to be some plants coming up that
Well,
aren't going to be
so that
used.
we had talked about this before, a couple of weeks ago when Artic came out and said that, hey, this is kind of what there was a rumor going around that CF Moto was trying to buy Artic. Now, granted, that is a rumor, so take it.
I heard some grumblings about it, and it was like you said, a rumor. I haven't found anything written on it.
I couldn't find anything either. When I heard the rumor, I went looking too, and I wasn't able to find anything. So, would that? I wouldn't be mad at it.
Well, my thought process behind that would be if, say, tariffs and stuff like, and I don't want to get political or anything, but if tariffs and everything were implemented for that reason, and that could potentially drive the prices up with the CF Moto stuff, I could see them going, all right, well, hey, here's a manufacturing plant right here. If we just build it all here, we can bypass all those tariffs.
Well, and that's just it. And that's exactly what Toyota did a long time ago. That's how they got around it.
Yeah. You just build it here.
Yep. The parts come from Japan. You build it here.
Yep. So it's one of those like we'll see how the next 6 months play out.
I'm interested to see what goes on over the next few months. Like I said, I don't want to see any manufacturers leave the industry. But
100%. I mean, nobody wants to see any.
But in the same breath, though, too, Artic has not done anything here recently.
No, I mean the biggest thing that I seen come out. Well, the biggest thing I seen come out, other than like the double X, was they came out with that mud 4-wheeler, but it's a 650. They missed the mark wholeheartedly. They missed the mark. When you've got everybody else dropping 850s and 1000s for their mud 4-wheelers, you cannot drop a 650 and expect it to compete.
That's just it, though. The double X has been out since 2018. I think is the first model year of the double X because I remember going to Wildcat Weekend in 2017 and seeing it.
Right.
So that machine's been out for 7 years now, 8 years.
Well, I know, but what I'm saying is because I looked at it. It was matter of fact. That way I'm not screwing anything up on this.
And that's kind of we found out with this industry, like if you don't innovate and come with something new, you're going to be left behind.
Right. Yeah. And I'm not sure exactly. There it is. Like it was a good looking 4-wheeler too. Yeah, 2020. Oh, sorry, not a 650, a 600. A 20, yeah, it's a 2023 Artic Altera 600 EPS mud. So radiator relocate kit, mud tires, winch, all that good stuff.
Yeah, but that's just it. Look at Kawasaki with the brute force. It's 750.
Oh, okay, but they don't build a brute force mud edition.
Yeah, but that's just it though. Like if
This
you're
600, I'm telling you right now, this 600, the way they designed it, it was meant to go after the Outlanders as a mud ready four wheeler. They advertised it as a mud ready four wheeler. You can't go after the 850s and the 1000s.
I'm
You
not
can't go
saying you
after
can. I'm not saying
you,
you can.
well, but that's what I'm saying is that's one of the things that they really dropped the ball.
Yeah, that that's what I'm getting at though, is other companies have dropped the ball too. You can get a and not even a mud four wheeler. It's these big four wheelers are 1,000 cc's now.
Yeah.
So to drop a 750 or drop a 600 is kind of pointless because you're trying to compete with Polaris and CF Moto and Can-Am
And
that have 1,000 cc four wheeler, and you're going to drop a 600 or 750 at that same price point. That why would you buy that when I can spend the same amount of money and go get a 1,000?
yeah. Yeah, and
Regardless whether it's a mud bike or not.
but that's what I'm getting at is Artic came out with this and they advertised it because I saw it and I was like, I like the color on it. I really like the way it's styled. Like it's a good looking machine, great looking four wheeler, and I was really really interested in it. And then saw that it was a 600, and I'm like, why? And then for the price, it started at like 13, and I'm like, for an extra grand, I can get the 850 XMR
Well,
at that point in time.
that being said, too, and I'll be the first one to say it, that all of Arctic Cat stuff is overpriced.
Yeah.
It always has been.
Well, like I said, that was one of
For
the
for
things
what
that,
you get, it's overpriced.
right.
Now, granted, I've said the same thing about Polaris, and I've said the same thing about Can-Am.
Right.
But like Arctic Cat, you don't get a whole lot for what you pay for.
Right.
The Can-Am, Polaris, these other companies, yes, this is the cost of the machine, but you get all these extra features. Arctic Cat, you don't get that. This is what the cost of the machine is. Take it or leave it. You know what I mean?
Right.
And that they're double X. Like they're selling it at what is that? The Black Hills edition is a $30,000 machine.
Yeah.
That's a $22,000 machine. For what you get, that's a $22,000 machine.
Well, you remember when we went to Bass Pro Shops and they had the trackers?
Mm-hmm.
Remember they had that one that looked identical to the double X, and come to find out, all it is a year older, and
Yeah,
they're selling it as a tracker.
Yep, yep.
And for a
it's a
portion of the
model
price,
year behind.
yeah,
and it's the same damn machine. But that's what I'm saying. They didn't change anything with the double X until this past year when they did the Black Hills edition. They got a different front diff and it got a little bit bigger wheel and tire package.
and
it's a $32,000 machine. Like you got to be kidding me.
right.
At $32,000, I can buy an HVAC with navigation and a radio system.
Well, like I said, I the whole Arctic Cat thing, like, it is what it is. I hate to see it go, but I really do feel like there was some missteps within that company that could have been alleviated some of this issue.
I think so too. I
Like,
think them getting rid of their trail machines, their mid-level stuff was a big falter on that. And that stuff all went away right after Textron took over.
yeah,
So getting rid of the Wildcat Trail and the Wildcat Sport, because Can-Am's basically doing the same thing with their Maverick Trail and Maverick Sport. and those sell pretty well.
Right.
And there's a lot of places up in the Northeast that you can only ride a 50-inch machine in.
And that was the big thing was, and I know that was one thing that kept Arctic Cat around was that 50-inch machine that was capable is it could go on all those trails. Nobody else could.
Yeah, and that's so for those of us that ride here in the South, we don't have that problem. But up north, there's a lot of public lands, and you're limited on the size of your machine.
Yeah,
You
they
can't ride
put
down these
concrete.
trails because
They put
well,
concrete bollards. They put posts.
yeah,
They put whatever and go. If you don't fit in between this and this, you don't go.
right. And if you get caught, you can say goodbye to your shit because they're gonna confiscate it.
Yeah,
So, but that being said, too, there it's a niche. You know what I mean? There's a market for it. So it's just it comes back to the deal to where I think Arctic Cat had a good game plan, and then Textron took it over and basically wiped all that crap out within a couple of years.
yeah. So I just pulled up Arctic Cat's website because they still have stuff on there, of course. So just pulling up the Mud Pro 600. It's 11 MSRP. Starting MSRP is 11.6.
Mm-hmm.
It's 600 cc's, 45 horsepower, radiator relocate kit with snorkels and 28-inch mud tires. The a few things that I liked about it and that caught my attention specifically on this machine was the way they did the bars. They set the bars and everything up like a sled, like a
Yeah, so
snowmobile.
they're up on a riser.
They're up on a riser. They're minimalistic. They're set up like drag bars. So they're on a riser with drag bars. They're not the U-bend bars. Um, an actual cable lock diff. Uh, the riser bars are fully adjustable for your riding style.
Hang on. So the cable lock diff, just there's any other manufacturers that are listening to this, please bring that back.
Yeah, having a
Get rid of the electric push button electronic locker. Bring back the cable driven locker. This coming
check.
from like old school Jeep guy, bring that back.
Let me double check because this may be electric and it just looked cable. And
Polaris used to do it with the older Rangers.
Right.
The diff lock for the rear end to unlock for turf lock and unlock for turf mode was cable driven. Bring that back. It works. It's reliable.
Man, I hate they only give like key features. They don't. Yeah, they're only giving like key features. They're not even like going, oh, well, it's got this and this. It's just, oh, here's the skid plate, standard instrumentation, lighting. Stuff like that bugs me.
I just
No, it's electric. Sorry, it looked cable, but it's electric. Two wheel,
okay, that's
4-wheel drive.
besides the point. I
Electric.
still want the cable diff lock to come back.
Well, I just wanted to correct myself. But it does have a 2-wheel drive, 4-wheel drive selectable locker instead of what, 3-wheel
No
drive.
Visco lock.
Yeah. As much as I love my Honda, I 4-wheel drive.
I think having the option between having a diff lock and being able to run 3-wheel drive. There's so much more benefits to having it. Um, a dig system would be awesome too. Just throwing that out there too for the rock crawler guys.
Anyway, so enough about shit going tits up. How about that new Ridge? Come on. And then, look, his ears perked up. He smiled.
I'm not a fan of 6-seaters, but I like 6-seaters. um, so
You gonna try to join that cab gang?
fuck, I can't afford it. I would love to. I can't afford it, and I wouldn't buy a 6-seater. I would buy a 2-seater or a 3-seater. The 6-seater Ridge though, like it was needed to compete
Right.
with Polaris and compete with Can-Am with the Defenders. Um, I think it's a good looking machine. The some new things with the release of the Ridge Crew. Um, the a couple of the new things was they did a little bit more insulation on the rooftop, stuff like that. Um, same motor, same 4-cylinder motor. Uh, the interior's pretty much the same. The only difference is so you have the Ridge, which is 92 horsepower, I believe, 4-cylinder motor. Um, seat 6, the Ridge XR center console in the front. It's set up to do up to 5 people. So you have bench seat in the back. Well, it's not a bench; it's split buckets with a flip up in the back, and then bucket seats up front in the XR.
Well, okay, so I'm just bear with me here. I'm on Kawasaki's actual website.
So that's what I'm looking at right now myself. So I am looking at the XR model.
I'm not seeing the
Um,
XR. That's why I was asking.
the that
Ah,
they
okay.
they did change a few things. Like I said, the big thing is the they revamped the HVAC system, so it's supposed to be a little bit more efficient. Um,
I just
I,
$33,000. I just buy a Jeep.
you're right, but it would be nice to roll the mud parts midsummer when it's 110 degrees outside and my beer stay frosty cold.
Well, you can do that now.
I just
It
have to
just
drink
takes
them
extra
faster.
effort. Yeah, it takes extra effort.
um, little stuff like that. Not big changes compared to last year's models. Um, I think the graphic kits changed a little bit with the 4-seaters, or excuse me, with the 6-seaters, the crew cabs. Um, but other than that, it's still the same thing. 3-year warranty that didn't change.
Yeah, I like the Ridge. I really think the 6-seater changes the look of it.
Oh, absolutely. Suicide doors.
I do like that.
The suicide door is kind of cool.
Oh shit!
Um,
So the Ridge the XR is 116 horse
mm-hmm.
versus the 92.
Yeah, so you get a little bit more power. Bucket seats with a center console versus bench seat with the flip down.
7-inch full color instrumentation.
Yeah, so it's a similar
It's
instrumentation as
coming
what.
factory on 30s.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the XR gets a little bit extra stuff, so a little bit bigger tire. Um, the bucket seats, I believe it comes with I forget what Kawasaki calls it, uh
The ride technology, rideology or whatever.
yeah, I forget that what they call it, but
I'm pulling it up right now. It's called rideology. The app Power Sports, the rideology.
Yeah, so and everybody's kind of got their own deal.
So I'm looking at this Ridge X XR Crew Limited HVAC, and I like the color scheme on it. On the fly, 2 4-wheel drive, front rear diff lock, LED headlights, contoured front seats, adjustable front seats, 3 passenger contoured rear bench, Warren 45S Power Sport winch, 8-inch Garmin tread off road nav system, group ride radio, audio system with 8 speakers, front and rear view cameras, painted steel rear bumper, limited 3D emblem, front bumper, full windshield with wiper. Damn, that's a good looking machine.
You get a lot of uh
Yeah,
you get a lot of
MSR
extra stuff with these.
MSRP MSRP 38,099 with a destination charge of 14.95.
Which one are you looking at though?
The XR Crew Limited HVAC.
Okay, so that's the limited. So the XR Crew HVAC starts at 33.
Oh no, when I look at this stuff, I want to look at the top of the line. That way, when you look at the bottom of the line, you go, "Look, I'm saving 10 grand."
Right? You got to sell yourself on it.
Yeah.
So the I don't know about the limited, but the one I'm looking at, the XR Crew HVAC, which is basically the base model XR, it's 4 high back bucket seats
Oh,
versus your bench in the rear.
well, that's what I'm looking at. I'm getting to the pictures here.
I am gonna make a comment though, and you can take it for what it's worth. Those are Terex seats.
You don't know what you're talking about.
Look at them and tell me they're not Terex seats. They're not even KRX seats. Those are Terex seats.
Well, I'm looking at the limited. The front has 2 buckets. Those are not Terex seats, by the way. With the center console, and then the back is
You're
it's a
look
60-40 split. That
okay,
this
so
is the limited HVAC.
yeah, you're not looking at the XR.
Yeah, it's the XR limited HVAC.
HVAC.
Ridge XR Crew limited HVAC,
That's I'm
five
looking at I'm
passenger
looking at right
premium
now.
side by side for work and play.
Yeah, so that's the bit. So go look at similar models up at the top and then click on the XR HVAC
Oh,
and
you're
tell
gonna
me
make me
those
do
aren't
this.
Terex seats.
Just the regular HR, or I mean, just the regular XR.
XR Crew HVAC. I'm gonna scroll down to the pictures and tell me those aren't fucking Terex seats.
Now you don't know what you're talking about. That's just a 4-seater.
Yes. Yeah, that's a console all the way through.
Those are 100%. Those are 100% Terex seats.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, but I like the Terex seats.
I do too. They're comfortable seats. Um,
I I'm not gonna lie. I kind of like this one more than the limited. Like the whole, I like having that center console
yes.
over the bench.
Yes. I agree. That would be the one I would go for. I would go for that over the bench. Although the one that we test drove and we did the review on had that bench seat setup with the flip
Yeah, but
down in the center.
I'm talking
It,
if I go with a crew, if I go with a crew, like it between this XR and the XR limited,
mhm.
the difference is the rear having bench versus buckets.
Yeah.
Essentially, I kind of like having the buckets.
Yeah, I would take this setup over the bench seat. Now, granted, that's what I was saying though, is that one that we did the review on and I test drove for that having the bench seat like what's in the limited, super, super comfortable seats.
I want to see one now. I want to do a review on one now. Oh, Dales. Yep. I want to get my hands on one now. I like the way it looks. I like the color scheme on them.
I think it's a good looking machine. I really do.
So you have ice gray and then metallic gray stone. Then
But
metallic gray stone has your red in it.
yeah, I know that's the one I would get if it was me. I like my red.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
but that being said, like
Long arm kit, 6-inch boxes, 35s.
that's just it. You don't have to do 6-inch boxes to get 35s. We saw one in Mud Nats last year. It had a lift
Gear
with
reduction,
the
buddy.
springs cranked up,
Gear
and
reduction. Gear reduction.
it doesn't need it. It's got a modified KRX transmission. It is
Nope.
super low geared as it is.
Gear reduction. 6-inch boxes with 30% gear reduction.
Nope. 4-inch boxes, maybe with a 15% gear reduction.
You and I do.
You're right. We do.
But definitely a long arm kit. Ooh, I bet that thing would be killer because it's already factory 30s. I bet that thing would be killer with a long arm kit and like 33s.
But that's what I'm saying though, is like stock, they were able to stuff 35 or 35s underneath it.
Yeah, but I like the long arm kit. Just like the
Like
Rangers with the long arm kits look so much better.
I'm not disputing that, but that's what I'm getting at. Is like I don't think it needs boxes. I have a long travel kit to get it out to 68 to 70 inches, and then a 33 to 35-inch tire, and call it good. You know what I mean? So, I would be interested to like ride around in one of the park because I haven't even got to ride around in other than riding around in Trashy's Ranger
Yeah.
before it got all the stuff done to it.
It's so big now.
I'm interested to see how top heavy they feel.
Mm. I don't know.
But driving Trey's Ranger,
Eh,
though, all lifted up, I thought that damn thing was cool as fuck.
no, that
And it
thing's
felt
different.
planted.
It's different now too.
Well, I got to see pictures of it, but it's still the same wheel and tire package.
Well,
Yes,
yeah,
it is.
wheel and tire package. Yeah,
It's still on the same long travel kit and portals,
there,
8-inch
there's some,
portals.
there's some change.
So, but
There's changes. There's changes.
that thing felt planted. So,
Oh, dude, Trey definitely built that thing. Fucking bueno. That is bueno.
um, I think that's probably the coolest Ranger. So,
And hence the reason he got crowd favorite instead of my 3-wheeler.
but anyway.
I was a close night.
Meanwhile, back at the ranch.
Oh, here we go. So speak of ranch, uh, and by ranch I mean just parks in general. I want to go ride.
Me too. You've been more recent than I have.
No, I haven't.
Yes, you have.
No, I haven't.
Really?
Yeah. When's the last time you went?
When did we do the last big ride? September?
No, I'm not talking about big ride. When was the last time you went?
September? Before the
That's the last time.
KRX went down?
Okay. Well, last time I went was when I don't know, the RV broke down.
Yeah, see, I didn't even go to that one.
Yeah, but I thought you went riding like a week later.
No, I didn't.
Anyway, I want to go ride. I am planning on the Mardi Gras ride, River Run, Battle of the Builds, February. So that is happening.
Okay.
Other than that, checking out Side by Side We Ride, and you're going to be out of town, right? No.
Be out of town.
What is this? That's that same weekend. Nope, that's not happening. Do 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 do. Extreme has their Mardi Gras the 20th through the 23rd. Uh, I'm really not keen on like a whole lot of events. So let's do this. I pulled up the parks because that side by side we ride. I fucking should have known this and I didn't. But you can actually pull up like the state and it's got a list of all the parks.
Yeah.
Brian was telling me about a park that apparently isn't too far from here.
Where?
That's what I said. Where's Royce City?
I have no clue.
Amarillo, Childress. There's Creekside. Cycle Ranch in Floresville. That's the motocross ranch.
Mm-hmm.
Gatesville, Decatur, Dallas, Ozona. I didn't even know there was a place in Ozona you could ride.
Me neither.
General Sam's, Huntsville.
But remember that one was supposed to open up there in El Campo, Wharton area? And then it turned out it was supposedly somebody's big fucking, just a big field.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That was out towards Bay City. Yeah. See, the problem is some of these are towns that I don't know anything about. Fritch, Grand Prairie, Edinburgh, Jacksboro, Mud Buddies, Bridgeport, Carroll, Stanton, Dale, St. Joe, Vulture, Burkeville, El Paso, Robert Lee, San Angelo. Hey, there's a bunch in West Texas, apparently. All right. So he was telling me that there was another one that was close. So this is going to be one of those. I'm just going to have to click on them and see where they're at. Oh, there's one in San Antonio. That might be the one he was talking about.
We're at San Antonio.
It's called the 281 Country Club. Off-road park in San Antonio, 4x4 mudding, ATV, UTV, and dirt bike trails.
So is it like west?
Property map.
What's it called?
281 Country Club. It's off of 281. I kind of want to go just to check it out. They even do rentals. It's not big at all. It looks like it's smaller than Mud Buddies.
That's like 800 feet by like 1,200 feet.
It's like 20 acres. We could go and be the biggest things there. it's it's all trails and water crossings apparently. Mudding areas. It's $20 a day or $60 a month. Camping counts as 2 days. Membership options available for VIP deals.
Okay, so they do like I'm just flipping through photos.
UTV rentals, party pavilion rental. Their Instagram at 281cc. They do Jeeps. They allow Jeeps and trucks out there. They have cabins. This is the one he was telling me about. He said they have a couple cabins out there. Like if it's somewhere you just want to like get away for the weekend, somewhere different that you've never been to, and like take the kids go camping,
Yeah.
but have the side by side. And it's in San Antonio. It's only hour and a half. Yeah. South San Antonio, Texas, right outside of city limits off of 281 inside loop 1604.
Shit. So
When you want to go.
that's a day trip.
Yeah, just to go check it out.
Yeah, 20 acres. That's crazy.
That's nuts.
I just I don't know. I don't know. It's only 20 acres. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but like I said, it's
Let's
following
see.
projects 2024 working on electricity and Wi-Fi, solar panels in the pavilion, small covered pavilions, convenience store, power washer rental. 2025 to 2026, they're going to do a shower house, room rentals, lodging for events, outdoor kitchen, RV sites, concert stage, glamping sites. They're talking about doing maybe projects of zip lines and fishing.
So it is. Come on.
If you're a member, you get a gate code and you can come and go as you please. Non-member hours Monday through Thursday 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. Friday through Sunday 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. Member and or camping all day with gate code.
What is that? The town of La Soya?
Buena Vista.
So it's between 1604 and 410 on 281. I know where both of those are. So it's
Yep.
shit. It's fucking south of the airport.
They have an address. Peace.
Right?
Oh.
Oh no, that's a municipal airport.
Who's south of the airport?
Well, it's south of the San Antonio International Airport, but the international airport's on the north side of town. But it is between 1604 and 410. So we've traveled 410 and 1604 enough.
It's an hour and 45 minutes from here.
Yeah, I got an hour and 50 minutes. So it would definitely be
Just go for it one day.
just go check it out for the day. Say fuck it.
Like literally for me, it's going the way I thought I would go, which is out through Floresville.
Yeah, it's got me going out through Stockdale and then Sutherland Springs.
Yeah.
And then through Elmendorf.
Yep. Yeah, get on 1604 and go up to 281.
Yeah. Yeah, it's 2 minutes longer if I go through Floresville.
It's
so
it's the same. It's the same for me if I go through if I go straight up 181 instead of going through Floresville. The back road.
Yeah.
So I can shoot. Yeah, same thing. 181 all the way up to 1604. Get on 1604 Elmendorf. Go all the way around 281.
All right. So it is 10 to 10 though. So no late night partying and shit. So
No.
like our normal.
No, it's hey, I want to go somewhere different that I've never been to, and this is close.
Yeah.
Let's go check it out. See, you know, somewhere different.
Right, right.
That's crazy. I didn't even know that was there.
I never even
Brian was telling me about it there in Arkansas, and I was like, "What?" He's like,
never
"Yeah."
even heard of it.
That's what I thought, and that's when he kind of started giving me some shit. He was like, "Well, apparently you've never been on our page where it has all the parks," and I was like, "I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. No, I haven't. Like, I just look at the events. It's crazy." All right, so yeah, I want to go check that place out.
Yep, 20 acres. We'll ride it in 5 minutes. Load up and go home.
Yeah,
We'll go
drive
go
over
find,
there,
find a
ride.
brew house somewhere, have a few beers, and go home.
Yeah, ride for an hour, and then go. All right, we're headed back to Mud Buddies.
I saw it. Been there, done that. So,
Well, there's another one here, and it's in Hitchcock, and it's supposedly it's 3,600 plus acres.
Hitchcock's by Alvin.
Yeah,
So 3 hours, 3.5
but
hours.
well, I just clicked on their website, and it's not. Let me check the Facebook. I'm a little interested in this.
You said it's 3,600 acres.
Yeah, but even the Facebook's not popping up, so I'm wondering if they're closed.
I've never even heard of
It's
them.
called Four Ranch Outfitters.
I still want to go to Hidden Falls.
I know I want to go back up to Hidden Falls too. I did talk to Brian about that. He said anytime we're ready to go, he goes, holler at him.
Okay.
I want to go up to Barnwell Mountain too. Barnwell Mountain, 1,600 acres.
Where's that at?
Gilmer, Uncle Harold.
That is a hall.
I know it's a haul.
If that's the case, we might as well just say screw it, go to Vita. You know what I mean? We're going that far.
Well, I just want to go to new parks.
I want to go to new parks too. I want to go check out Mina.
Yeah,
So
right.
I'm kind of with Bruce on going and checking Mina out.
And then I don't know what this Buffalo Springs is. 1,000 acres. Lubbock. Buffalo Springs Lake. Well, that's all fishing rules. I have
Because I can go somewhere and ride and not drink. I don't have to drink.
no. Well, no. So we were talking about that. So, as a matter of fact, we were talking about that in Arkansas is going to Hidden Falls because Zach and Yvette are a little interested,
Okay.
and I think their KRX would do just fine up there.
Well, yeah.
Uh, and whatnot. And we were all sitting there talking about it, and Brian was like, "Well, you know, that's a place you don't drink." And Zach's like, "Okay, like I don't have an issue with that." And I was like, "Yeah, I've been there. Aaron and I go there, and we've been there, and we liked the park, and we don't have an issue going and riding and not drinking."
I don't have to drink when I'm out riding. Like that doesn't bother me one bit because, well, you've been with me, like growing up in Washington. Like we would drive, go ride Evans Creek or LB or what have you, wheel
Yeah.
all day, and then we wouldn't drink until we got back to camp
Right.
when we were done for the night. You know, so
Yeah,
I don't have
you
a problem
didn't
with that.
drink
Like
yeah,
when
you
I went
didn't
to
drink until you were back at camp shut down.
yeah, exactly. And then when me and Karina went to Windrock, they had security at the trailheads checking coolers and stuff because you cannot drink on the trails because you'll leave one trail, you got to drive in
On
a
the highway.
neighborhood on a road, an actual road to get to the next trailhead.
Right.
So, you know, that's a big deal. And it was one of those deals to where you didn't drink until you got back to camp and you shut down for the night.
So I don't have a problem with that. So
Hey, we might have to take a trip to West Texas.
why?
So this other one I was just looking at, the one in Ozona, Escondido Draw Recreational Area. 30, what did it say, 3,600 acres? 3,400 acres. Acquired in 2007, this Texas Motorized Trails Coalition property offers motorcycle, ATV, and OHV enthusiasts 3,400 acres of pure delight. The park has something for everyone, including a 35-plus mile single track trail for dirt bikes and a 23-plus mile of scenic trails and challenging hills for ATVs and OHVs. Primitive campsites, full-service RV spots are available. Other amenities include showers and restrooms. We're working hard to provide cabins soon, and we'll have ice available on site by summer.
What was that called?
Escondido. The park facilities and trail system were designed and constructed specifically for motorized off-road purposes. The trail system is being developed by the all-volunteer TMTC membership and will be mapped and rated with proper signage.
See, this is like
Escondido Draw is now open every weekend, Thursday through Sunday. You can help us out by making reservations. Here's the number. Park was recently the last stop on the Ultimate Adventure 2021 tour.
like this is rock crawling shit. Which is I'm cool with that.
So park usage per day, park usage fee per day, $15 for family. That's a member. So non-members are $30, $5 a guest, $10 for camping, $35 for premium RV site per night, one vehicle and non-shareable. Gate fees are waived for active military visitors with identification, and for children 6 and under, all fees paid goes to the park. No one profits financially. All off-road vehicles must display a current Texas Parks and Wildlife OHV sticker while in the park. The sticker is required by state law and enforced by game wardens.
Yep,
Stickers
it's
BLM land.
It's BLM.
Well, the sticker's only $20, so that ain't no big
Yeah,
deal.
no, I don't have a problem with that either. So
Nope. They have a Facebook page. I guess we'll go check those guys out. It's worth a trip if it's worth a trip. You know what I mean?
I'm down to go check. I'm down to go check new stuff out.
But that's a haul. That's a haul.
Yeah.
But that's in Ozona, which I know I've been to Ozona. You've been to Ozona.
That's in
rocky,
Ozona, is what you said?
Outside of Ozona. Rock crawling trails and hills.
Trying to remember how fucking far Ozona is from here. It's been so long since I drove to Ozona. Drove through Ozona.
Ozona's before you hit Fort Stockton.
Right. Crockett County, Texas.
I don't know. Like I said, I want to go ride. I want to go hit. I still want to go to General Sam's. Never been to General Sam's. I still want to go to. I want to check out that Gator Run place. I haven't been there yet.
Right.
Over in Tatum.
That's
and apparently there's
6 hours.
Apparently that's huge. It's 5,200 acres. Gator Run.
Right. Gator Run is?
Yeah. That's what it says right here. 5,200, 5,250. Biggest, baddest off-road park in Texas. Alligator Run
at?
Tatum?
Why does that sound familiar?
Oh. Nice. They did a triumphant Trump's inauguration ride. It was this weekend. This past weekend. I want to go to this park.
I'm looking at pictures. So
A Gator Run.
yeah. Yep.
Maps and driver directions. Click here. Longview. Just south of 20. East side of Tyler.
So that'd be no different than us going to Sabine or River Run.
Yeah. I mean, we would drive straight up 59 there in Carthage.
I'm just talking about driving.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about driving. Go straight up 59 into Carthage. So you'll go through Livingston where we turn to go to Sabine.
Mm-hmm.
Go through Livingston out that way, and then when you hit Carthage, you'll get on 149.
Sandrag Sand Dunes, Monster Mud Pit, Camping Area, Main Gate, Twisted Shout Obstacle Course, Concert Amphitheater. I'm just looking at the.
What they have.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're new Gator Run Geo Maps. Bike wash and showers, camping area.
What's their address?
Don't work very well.
What?
You click on the deal, it's supposed to like zoom in, blah blah blah.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, yeah, like I said, I'm up for definitely going and checking out a new
East.
park. But at this point, I just want to go ride.
Same. Let's see. 2211 East.
Directions.
There it is. And
Yeah, so Victoria to Gator runs about 6 hours.
I was gonna say that's pretty much 5 hours and 5.5 hours from here, according to mine. 5 hours and 36 minutes. Yeah, so pretty much what we normally drive now anyway.
Yeah. But that would be basically the same because Gilmer's not much further.
Right. I don't know. We got to plan some trips. Like I said, I don't always want to do the events. I want to get back to riding this year. We did so many events last year. And it just, yeah. It took a toll on me. I know it took a toll on all of us just doing events. I want to get back to riding. So, and on that note, anything else you can think of that's been in the back of the mind or anything?
You're a Vagine.
No, yeah. Well, it is what it is.
Lone Star Off-Road Park temporarily closed in Grand Prairie. That's only 120 acres.
Yeah. Well, we want to thank everybody who supported the podcast in the past. KB Longhorn Welding, Dale's Fun Center, 361 Racing, Trashy Inc., Silverback Garage. What else? Who else? Think of Silverback Designs.
Me, myself, and I.
Right. Make sure if you want to follow us, we're on all the socials. TikTok is alive and well. Still.
Yeah, but the problem is if you didn't have it before, you can't download it now.
Oh yeah?
Yep.
Yes, don't delete it from your phone.
Nice. I didn't know that. Um, yeah, I think I'm shadow banned.
I got a new what do you mean shadow banned? You ain't shadow banned.
Well, so before a lot of our videos, a lot of my videos were doing okay. I mean, I don't want to be set out here and go, oh, I was getting fucking 100,000. No, I wasn't getting shit. I'm be
He
honest with you.
fucking thinks he's Facebook famous.
No. But I was averaging, a few hundred views in a few hours. Well, now the last like 3 videos barely broke 100 between all 3 of them. So I think with the whole deletion and whatnot, the algorithms are just screwy.
Yeah.
But check us out on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, especially Instagram. Instagram, golly, we need to fucking start posting to that more. You can email us at fullsendpodcastmail@gmail.com.
Get it, Bale.
Huh?
Nothing. Nothing. Old reference.
Shut your mouth. Oh, if you happen to be out at any of these parks and you're looking for a ride app to use, yeah, I always keep forgetting them to do this.
Lost
stuff.
Riders.
Yep. Check out the Lost Riders app. Use code FULLSEND for a free 7 days. And then if you're looking for energy while you're out and about or looking for a good hydration pack to use, check out Dubby Energy. That's DUBBY. Yeah, you was about to say you better spell it, huh?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's DUBBY. And use code FULLSENDOFFROAD25 for discounts.
Still waiting to try it.
It'll be here this week. I got an update.
It's supposed to be like liquid IV, and I live on that shit at the mud parks.
Well, I don't really do energy too much. I do a little bit here and there, but I did want to try the hydration.
I just like
pack.
the hydration stuff. So
Yeah. So
it's a great cure for hangovers. I'm just saying.
No comment. So I've got some, and we've been fortunate enough that they expressed interest in supporting us. So use our code.
So you got to meet those guys at OPE.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
I didn't meet all of them or anything. I just met a rep. So
and that's cool, but that's not what I was just kind of getting back to OPE because unfortunately I didn't get to go.
Yeah, I was gonna save that conversation when Bruce gets back on because Bruce was there. So.
No, what I was gonna ask though, did you get you some chicken shine?
I did not get me no chicken shine. I went and spoke to Chicken Man, but I did not get chicken shine. And
I really want to try. I really want to try this stuff.
I told myself I was gonna get some, and I didn't. But I also told myself I was gonna buy a bunch of other stuff, and I didn't. So
yeah, because we haven't talked about the pandemic yet.
No, we didn't.
So you can go ahead and get into that spiel if you want to.
It still bugs me. All right, let me bring that up. See, where were you earlier when we were kind of falling dead there for a second while I was looking shit up? You could have been like, hey, we could talk about the pandemic stuff while you're.
Well, that is you talking about the pandemic stuff because I wasn't there. So, but I'm just going to throw that out there because you did bring up one of our sponsors and friends of the podcast, Triage Garage.
Right.
They're Evo dealer.
Yeah.
So they can get tuning done.
Silverback?
Yes, Silverback.
You said Triage.
Oh, sorry, my bad. Silverback.
We love you, Alan.
Yes. Silverback is an Evo dealer here locally for us. So
all right.
That all just happened fairly recently within the last couple of weeks.
All right. So I was at OPE, and you and I have discussed tuners before. You have a tuner on your KRX.
Mm-hmm.
I've been talking about possibly getting a tuner, but I've always been afraid of a tuner. And I'll admit it, I've been afraid of a tuner because eventually I want to do exhaust, but I'm not going to do exhaust right now. And
You're
my deal
afraid of
was
tuners because they're smarter than you.
neither here nor there or elsewhere. Shut up.
Just speaking the truth. Speaking the truth.
My deal is I didn't want to spend the money on a tuner and then go to put it in and then oh shit, now I need exhaust, I need to do this, and then have to fork out a bunch of more money to get the benefits out of the tuner, right? That's been my fear. And then I don't want to buy a tuner that everybody says, oh, you can use it on stock, and then you don't notice anything. So once again, you've spent the money without it producing anything. So while I was at OPE, I talked to the guys over at Pandemic. Their setup is not on the is it the
DynoJet?
DynoJet? Yeah, their setup is not on the DynoJet. It's set up with HP.
HP tuners?
Yes.
Okay.
So talking to the guy, he was explaining to me that, which I'm pulling it up right now, that their tuner that they have, let me pull up the 6-pin because mine's a 6-pin. So their tuner is plug and play, and you can use your phone. And I'm not required to have exhaust and stuff. So it is literally optimization, fuel changes, rev limiter changes. I can fix my speedo for the tire size, so on and so forth.
Now, see, that is one option that I wish DynoJet would implement, and they might. But between the tire size, and it's not just the tire size, but it's also the gear reduction of the portals too.
Right.
You know, because you know as well as I do, running the gear reduction on the portals and the larger tires, that it screws up the speedometer, but it also screws up your odometer.
Yes.
Which I don't really pay attention. As far as like, because we've talked about this before, like buying used machines. I don't care about mileage. It's not like buying a car. I want to see what the hours are on the machine because that doesn't change regardless of what setup you got.
Right. And like myself and you, we don't change oil based on hours either. We change oil. We do maintenance based on how we ride a lot.
Correct.
If we're riding a bunch of water and stuff like that, that thing's getting oil changes, it's getting diff fluid changes, it's getting the portal changes. All that shit's getting done most of the time after one or two rides.
Right.
So it's not like a car where it's, oh, I'm at 7,000 miles or 5,000 miles, I need to change the oil. It is, we're doing the maintenance on these things religiously.
The only thing that I'm still original on is my spark plugs.
But back to this tuner.
But if you have the option with Pandemic to make the speedo changes and do the corrections, that would be awesome.
So the big selling point for the tuner from Pandemic that really stood out to me was with the bigger tires and the gear reduction and everything that I've gotten on my Talon, because it is a transmission, it's not a belt.
Right.
I have noticed that my throttle response isn't there.
Well, yeah, everything's going to be sluggish because everything's bigger.
Right.
It's like going to bigger tires on your truck.
So with this tuner, it is supposed to, and everybody says that's the biggest thing you're going to notice with the tuner is the snappier throttle response. The reverse torque limit is increased, so the Talons inherently have a weaker reverse.
That was one of the reasons why I did the tuner on mine, was to get full power reverse.
Increased speed limiter, increased rev limiter, two-step brake throttle override threshold is increased. Seatbelt limiters removed. Optimized fuel tables, optimized spark plug tables based on customer fuel. So depending on what fuel range and whatnot that it's set to you. Corrected speedometer based on customer tire size and gear ratio, adjusted misfire windows depending on exhaust configuration, refined D-cell fuel cutoff. And you were trying to explain that to me. So I don't understand that wholeheartedly. So what is the D-cell fuel? Is that where like when I would blip the throttle every now and then it would die?
Uh, that could be part of the reason. It would also be like changing the fuel tables if you change the exhaust. So I noticed it more on my Harley when I had my Harley. Like when I did the exhaust change, like if I would get off the freeway and you just let off the throttle and decel in gear, you would get a lot of like backfiring through the tailpipe.
Yeah,
A lot of popping noise.
the garble.
Exactly. So we get that with these machines too. Like hard on the throttle, bring it up to speed, and then let off the throttle and let it decel. Like basically engine brake. That'll get rid of changing those fuel tables will get rid of the coughing and popping that you get out of the exhaust.
Yeah, it says refined D-cell fuel cutoff for more exhaust gargle and drivability.
Yeah, so basically, let's say you go wide open throttle and you're pulling a hill or just driving down the trail, right? And then you get off the throttle for some reason, then slam right back onto the throttle. Changing those tables gets rid of that lag from coming back on the throttle.
So let me ask you this: yours is tuned for 91 or 93?
93. I have a 93 octane tune in mine.
With no exhaust.
No, so I have stock exhaust on my machine, but I'm actually running the Trinity tune. Trinity Empire, Trinity tune.
Right. Well, anyway, the way I'm looking at this thing, it's I want to call and just specify a little bit better and whatnot, but they have a 91 and a 93 octane tune. They're saying this tune offers an additional 10 to 30 horsepower, is what they're seeing. Now, I know that's also subject
As
to
far as like
exhaust and stuff like that, but
here's my deal. As far as like butt dyno goes, did I notice when I put the tune in mine? Yes. It is more responsive as far as throttle response goes. Mine raised the rev limit. It lowered the fan temps when they come on. So the machine runs a little bit cooler. It runs about 10 to 15 degrees cooler than what it did in stock form. I got full power reverse versus the KRX. Only had 60% power in reverse.
right.
But I did the tune for the reverse and then the throttle response because I'm the KRX is a fucking dog anyway. Like it's underpowered. It really is. I'm not gonna deny that one bit. But it did make it snappier as far as drivability. Like if I have to stomp on the throttle, like whether I'm climbing over something or trying to pull a hill, it's my foot goes to the floor and the engine picks up RPM versus before was my foot went to the floor and then it waited a second and then the engine RPM decided to come up. So drivability is definitely a hell of a lot better. And then, like I said, it raised, I think it raised the rev limit 500 RPMs or something. So it red lines at like 9,600 RPMs versus the 9,100 RPMs before.
Right.
Now, do I run it up to 9,500 RPMs? No. The machine makes peak power at like 7,800 RPMs. So I have no business being above 8,500 RPMs.
Right. Well, like I said, I've been thinking about doing it and, talking to the guys there at OPE and whatnot. I was I was really excited. I was like, I think I'm going to go ahead and do it. And then I got distracted. And of course, it was end of the day, day two. And I didn't get back over there before they started shutting doors down and stuff like that. So unfortunately, I didn't do it while I was there.
With the Honda, because I've drove your machine, I drove your 2-seater and I've drove the 4-seater. I would be interested in doing the tune for a throttle response.
Right.
Yes, more horsepower is always a given. Whether it's 10 or 50 horsepower, more horsepower is better. But throttle response, and then if I don't know if they can do any tuning with as far as like the shift points in your transmission. I don't know if that's included with their tune for the Hondas.
Yeah,
That would be awesome. And then the four-wheel drive. Like if they could play with that four-wheel drive and even just raise the rev limit threshold on where that four-wheel drive decides to cut out, would be well worth it. That would probably be the number one thing I would be looking for if I had a Talon, would be the fuel cutoffs on the threshold for the four-wheel drive.
Right. Well, like I said, I'm interested in it, and I'm leaning towards it. I there for a while I was looking at the Florida Cracker stuff, but I'm no longer looking into. I mean, I changed my tires and everything. I'm no longer looking at a big mud bike and going that route anymore. I really just want trailability.
And that's kind of where I'm at. Like
the
I want to be able to do a little
the throttle
bit of everything.
response. Yeah, the throttle response and everything is really what I'm looking for, is trying to get that snappiness back, trying to get that responsiveness.
Right.
So I've been looking at the pandemic stuff. So
I'm not gonna say, hey, you need to go with this brand or that brand. Like until you start getting into like full on custom tunes, the base tunes are all going to be fairly similar versus, what brand uses, like Pandemic uses HP tuners.
yeah.
Other brands use DynoJet, other brands use whatever else, so it really boils down to I'm not a fan of sending my ECU out to somebody to have them flash it and then waiting on them to send it back. I'm not a fan of that because I'm worried about shit getting lost in the mail, so on and so forth. And then if I got to get another ECU, I got to have it married, so on and so forth. Like, I don't want to have to deal with all that nonsense. And I really wanted to do the V-Force tune in the KRX, but I could not bring myself to pull my ECU and send it off.
Right. Well, that's one thing I don't want to do either. So, and the pandemic stuff, I don't have to.
Yeah, I went with DynoJet just because of the getting the tuner. I could flash it back to stock if I want to for whatever reason. They update their stuff all the time. And then there's a number of companies that do custom tunes on the DynoJet itself. So,
right.
And the cool thing about the DynoJet stuff is if I want to do a tune myself, I can.
Right.
I went in and looked at the programming. I'm not like, I have an idea of what changes to make and stuff. Do what?
I said, go fuck your shit.
I have an idea of like what changes I can make and be okay. I've never got around to it.
Right.
Well, you want to tune a carburetor? I can tell you how to jet it and do vacuums and all that other good stuff. EFI I'm not comfortable with yet.
Right. Yeah, it's definitely a different talent.
There's an art form to the guys that do custom tunes and stuff. I'm not knocking it by no means. It's just like the carburetor guys. the guys that can tune a carburetor, that's an art form in its own.
So, but anyway, that was my deal with the whole tuning thing. It's something that I don't know a whole lot about. I don't understand it and whatnot. So, like, I've been leery about doing it because I don't understand it. I don't want to just jump on the gun and go, I'm going to buy this, and then I get it and I go, that was a waste of money.
Well, and that's what I was trying to tell you. Was like, if you want to do it on the cheap, you can buy a license from DynoJet. We can do the base DynoJet tune, and I can put the tune in your machine. You don't have to have the actual handheld programmer.
Well, like I said, anyway.
So that has been totally up to you. You know, but there's multiple companies that do tunes, and I don't have a favorite. I'm by no means, I'm not going to tell you, hey, this is who you should use or this is who you should not use. You know, just the only thing I've ever told anybody is like, before you do it, just make sure you do your research.
Right. Well, and that's with anything, really. So, but on that note, I think we're gonna go ahead and call this one. We'll see y'all again in, I don't know, a couple weeks or whatever. Scheduling's been changed up a little bit. We're trying to make sure we got some content for everybody. If you follow us on TikTok, I've been posting on TikTok, looking to see the comments. I've already seen a few comments, and we're gonna try to facilitate to those requests. So, yeah, deuces.